Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk about a story that was sent to me about a week ago by one of my subscribers. Shout out to Trista Gardner. I told you, Ms. Garner, I was going to do this for you. She's out there in Kentucky. Shout out Kentucky. And this story right here is about two senior living care centers in the Louisville area that are being shut down for putting the people that live there through some hard conditions, and some of the fates that they suffered and some of the things that they're going through or have went through. I mean, it's not fit for any animal, let alone a human being. I want to play this video clip, and guys, I want you to pay close attention. You know, some of the stuff these older folk went through just being residents there, it'll just make you gasp, you know what I mean? But without further ado, check this out and we'll come back and talk about it.
Two Louisville nursing homes are shutting down after reports of abuse and neglect.
WDRB's Dakota Sherrick breaks down what conditions some of our most vulnerable were living in. Dakota.
Rodent infestation, soiled clothes, and in some cases outright abuse was suffered by people living in these nursing homes, according to state reports. Hill Creek Rehab and Care off Breckenridge Lane and St. Matthew's Care and Rehab Center off Browns Lane are shutting down. Both locations owned by Exceptional Living Centers, headquartered in Lexington. The two nursing homes filed federal lawsuits to try to remain open after repeated Kentucky Division of Healthcare surveys of each site found that the centers were not in compliance with Medicare rules and regulations.
They were unable, or for some reason did not correct the deficiencies that the state kept finding.
Lisa Cercio, a lawyer who's handled these kinds of cases for more than 15 years, says it's rare to see a nursing home shut down.
The findings that I've seen are pretty disturbing at these two facilities.
At Hill Creek, state surveys found signs of mice infestation, with one resident reporting they had been bitten by a rodent in their room. Multiple residents also reported they were left in soiled clothing and linen, waiting long periods of time without being checked by staff. Some rooms also lacked temperature control, and in January, one resident in an unheated room found with abnormal vital signs and skin tears was taken by EMS to a hospital and ultimately died of hypothermia. Surveys of the St. Matthew's Center found failures to protect residents from abuse, lack of complete and proper background checks of employees, and medical devices used were not properly disinfected between patients. Ultimately, the nursing homes dismissed their cases, agreed to shut down, and will pay more than $1 million total in penalties. Closing up due to conditions Cercio finds all too common in nursing homes.
Unfortunately, when you're dealing with a vulnerable population, like the elderly who are infirm and in need of long-term care, there is a greater potential for poor outcomes and abuse and neglect.
Residents of the Hill Creek and St. Matthew's centers are being relocated to safer settings. I reached out to the ownership company Exceptional Living Centers several times for comment and did not hear back.
Well, guys, that was the video. And truth be told, I would never want to be in one of those places. That's one of my fears. I named two fears, but I'm gonna add a third. That one. These people obviously can't do for themselves or are a danger to themselves, and they need constant care. I'm gonna tell you something. How can I say this? Let me start like this. Three things stick out to me that seem terrifying, the way they need to shut down all of those facilities from that one specific company. And I'm going to tell you why. When you run multiple businesses or multiple franchises under the same name, right? This is some business stuff. Not all of them will be doing very well. A lot of times, the ones that are doing poorly, they'll send the worst staff and stuff over there, or the worst rated staff. Usually, it's a lot of messiness going on in these places, especially with the staff. a lot of CNAs. It goes back to, like, you know, you get a lot of people that are from the hood and stuff that get these jobs. So it's a lot. They bring a lot of beef, a lot of cattiness, a lot of mess to these places. So I'm thinking these two places were one of the most least desirable. And this is where they sent the least desirable employees instead of firing people, because I guess it was hard to come by with people. And this happens a lot in businesses like this. It's a high turnover rate. These people probably were sent there, and thus you get the results you get. Let's go down the line a little bit. First thing is this that stood out to me. Well, another thing that stood out to me, I keep saying first thing all the time. Failure to protect against abuse. That right there tells you, and I'm gonna tell you something, older people are hard to deal with. A lot of times they get old, they be saying racist stuff and anything coming out of their mouth. But you gotta understand something. These people are here for a reason. They can't take care of themselves. But you also gotta remember, it's still a person. Regardless of what ailments they got or what got them there, they're there. It's your responsibility to do your job and make sure that they are safe, and the remaining time span of their life, no matter how long or short it is taken care of to where they're as most comfortable as possible. You might not have to like them, but you still got a job to do. These people are getting abused and stuff. You know, it's funny how when you're a child, you need help. Then when you get up in age and in your years, if you're lucky, you'll die in your sleep before you even get a chance to get to one of these places. But some people are outliving their husbands, they're outliving their children, and a lot of these people wind up being in these circumstances for one reason or another. They're depressed. They think they're still in their right mind. They want to go home all the time. You'll hear that. It's just something that happens. You go from infantile to the peak of your life, and then you start to regress. And it's funny how as you get older, you become more childlike in the mind. It's just life. If you can't do the job, don't take it. This is a perfect example of something being a 9 to 5, people putting in a lot of hours, getting money, and just going home. Do something you're passionate about. Seriously, if you're not passionate, if you listen, if you're at a job you hate, look for another one, for real, because you don't serve no purpose to making anything better. If anything, you make yourself worse. Like I said, there are people at jobs that are making them sick, that are killing them from stress. Second thing is this, and this goes along with the first thing: failure to show completed background checks or background checks, period. That right there lets me know they was having high turnover, and they didn't care who was coming in the door, as long as they could wipe it behind, clean a floor, and push people around on a gurney or a wheelchair. This job should still be treated like a medical, like it's in the medical profession. You see people lined up with scrubs on all the time at bus stops, and you see them in stores. And you look at some of these chicks. You know what I'm saying? You really don't see dudes, but you look at some of these chicks and how they act when they outside of work. I'm like, ain't no way I'll let you run my granddad. You can't take care of yourself, let alone take care of somebody else. What kind of job do you have? And I believe it, like the failure to get background checks, man, look. That's something that's serious. You don't know who's around your people. And these people that are in these homes, their families are paying a whole lot of money for them to be here. I don't know if you guys know, but health, senior living, and senior care is super expensive. I mean, thousands. It could be up to tens of thousands a month, depending on what they need to keep them their survival intact, whatever needs they have. Nobody thinks about that. Let's go to the third thing, and this is disgusting. The blood glucometers, which is the thing that poke you and take your blood sugar and stuff, was not clean between patients. Disgusting. There are people in these senior living groups with bad blood. You know, a lot of the Vietnam people are in there from that Agent Orange stuff, and people have hepatitis and all kind of stuff. They're on their charts. Either these people ain't reading it or they just don't give a damn. A lot of these people that take care of seniors are very, very young. A lot of them are friends. All a bunch of friends just working at the same job. It's not going to pay off. There are videos upon video out here. People doing TikToks with old people in the background. They shaking their ass and doing all kind of stuff. Videotaping them abusing people and putting it on social media. I would never go in none of these places. That's nasty. Dealing with blood, it's a danger to you, the person working there, and to spread that kind of, man, no respect for the elderly at all. But I'm going to tell you something. Everybody will get old. Well, nowadays, the way people running with reckless abandon, some of them won't make it to the 30s. But the ones that do and get it together, karma is a bitch. And when you get older, all the stuff you're doing to a lot of people will be done to you tenfold. You know why? Because the generations coming behind you get worse and worse and less sensitive. I'm telling you, me, myself, I told my kids, I said this to you guys before on here. If I get to where I can't function and I start to realize it and I see, and I go to the doctor and they're like, oh, yo, you got your brain starting to get ate up. In 10 months, you're not going to be able to think straight and like you're going to have to go in a home. Thanks a lot, Doc. I appreciate that. I had a gun by my bedside. As soon as I start doing something crazy and then I realize it, like I almost set the house on fire or something, and my kid's like, Dad, we got to put you in a home. Come back in an hour. Let me pack. Boom. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. I'm not going to be a burden for my children. I'm not going to be a burden to anybody. I'll be classy about it. Hey, call the ambulance and have them outside and the police before you come in here. It's going to get a little messy. And I mean, it sounds like I'm joking. I'm serious. I can't go out like that. I can't go out like that. I can't, I mean, just to have, I mean, it's scary. It's bad enough to get everything taken away that you work for, your legacy and stuff, to be reduced to that. That's like prison for elderly. It's sad. Degrading to a lot of them, because a lot of people they know are still out here and they're not. Looking out the window, freedom's a few feet away. People be trying to escape. They don't know. They have mental illness, delirium, all this other stuff. Nobody ever considers that. My grandfather's 96 years old, right? I talked to him on the phone the other day. His conversation now, like, I mean, he doesn't look as old as he is, but his conversation is different. I'm talking to him, the subject just changed immediately after the question. Or he'd be telling me something and going to make a point, and then he'd lose his thought and go to something else. I see the age in his thinking. He's starting to deteriorate. 96 years old, that's a miracle he's still alive. And he knows who I am. Because a lot of people forget who their children are and stuff. Their mind goes. Enjoy yourself out here. And the last point I want to say is this. A lot of young people out here can wind up in these homes now. There are people that are getting shot, critically injured, severed spinal columns, things like that, tracheotomies, where they can't stay where they are. So they have to be put in these homes. They are not excluded from the abuse that other people that are old are experiencing. There are people out here paralyzed from the waist down, can't talk or nothing, almost like vegetables. And you got somebody watching over you that's mad. They got to change your diaper because you can't control your bodily function. And you in there getting abused and can't tell nobody because you can't talk. This is a reality. This can happen to anyone. Stop living with reckless abandon. Because you ain't got to be 80 or 90 years old to be in there. You can go right now. A lot of us are messing ourselves up. Last point I want to make before I get out. Hey guys, and I don't mean to be preaching too much, but you got to hear this. A lot of that synthetic weed, that they sell in these gas stations in the hood. A lot of these energy pills, 5-hour energy and stuff like that, even though they talk about it's harmless, we don't know the effects of medication, caffeine and all this stuff 50 years down the line. You got young kids popping these pills and all this other stuff, smoking this synthetic weed. They're already doing crazy stuff in the street. We got to stop, because the effects of all that stuff, even lace weed now. You notice there's a big influx of a bunch of kids that are homeless, twisting their hair, talking to themselves out in the street and stuff, and they're getting younger and younger in age. Usually you'll see a middle-aged man, whether he's black, white, purple, green, or yellow, out there homeless in the rain, walking around, talking to himself. You're starting to see more women doing that too. But the thing is, you see the rise in young children. Young children, 18 and up. People that's supposed to be out here making a difference in their life, but they out there walking in circles singing "Let Mary Had a Little Lamb" and quoting rap verses with yarn in their damn head. We're losing. We're losing. America ain't what it used to be. For real, it's not. And lawmakers don't care because it doesn't affect them in their neighborhoods with their children. And if it does, they'll catch it early. And they have the resources and stuff that we don't have as regular people to fix the problem and keep it out of the media. Whereas some of us get on social media and show how stupid we are, and it discredits us as human beings. Even though we're in America, other countries are watching. We got this fentanyl epidemic now and stuff. China funding Mexico to bring that shit in here because they don't like the United States, and they don't care whether you white or black. As long as they can weaken us, they will. Everybody talks about the problem and knowing what the problem is, but the solution is simple. Don't do it. Avoid it. Stop following people. Don't let nobody pressure you into doing anything. You are your own person. Men need to be men and stand up. Nobody gonna respect you. Make them respect you. Be the example, not the problem. I'm going off, guys. Listen, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope you liked the video. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. Pass the video out too, man, because I think a lot of stuff I say, a lot of people got to hear. But a lot of people on YouTube ain't talking about it. This is more than a story. It's reality. And we all need to take heed because we all can wind up in those places. Most of my viewers are my age. They know. I'll see you guys in the next video.